highlight the good things that are going on within the districts in the state of Kentucky. So we have come up with a award that we give to appreciation, really, to districts that have gone above and beyond. And one of the biggest helpers that we've had since we started in 2019 has been Madison County. And I just want to read some of the things that Madison County Schools has assisted us with. Madison County Schools has worked directly with the Office of the State School Security Marshal, providing staff for interviews regarding active shooter video reviews and responses. These interviews have molded videos that are mandatory for all school staff across the state of Kentucky. Madison County Schools has provided schools and staff to assist with active shooter videos, handle with care videos, SRO videos on numerous occasions. Every year the district extends a welcome hand to any request from the Office of the State School Security Marshal. Madison County has also provided classroom space for the Office of the State School Security Marshal for training without cost and continues to offer assistance whenever possible. Madison County also graciously allowed the Office of the State School Security Marshal to participate with district staff during initial vaccine distribution that, of course, rolled out, and we were in schools every day, so that was very, very important for us to get vaccinated. In fact, I was in this room all day today, and since Monday, Madison County had us here and helped us host a CEPTED training for all of our compliance officers and our SRO trainers for the Department of Criminal Justice Training. In fact, the active shooter video that we are filming, we'll be filming the third version of it at Kirksville next Friday. So I do appreciate everything that Madison County has done. And what I like to make sure and get across is this is not just for the students of Madison County. At 650,000 students in the state of Kentucky that those videos and the training and the compliance officers work with every day. So we do definitely appreciate all your support. And I know it's not very much, but we do want to give you this certificate of appreciation for commitment to the safety and security of the students and school staff, faculty and staff of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We surely appreciate you, sir. Thank you. All right. Absolutely. I have to prove to Ms. Wilcox that I was here at the meeting tonight. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. All right. And we certainly appreciate the work and the involvement of the Office of the State Security Marshal and everything that you guys do for us. Awesome partnership. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Stewart answers his phone 24 hours a day. You can call him anytime.
All right.
Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
I got to pull this back up. All right. Next on our recognition, we have Lloyd Jordison. Lloyd is currently serving as the interim public health director for the Madison County Health Department. Along with him is Sharonda Rose, clinical faculty member of the EKU School of Nursing. Jacqueline Canada and Brittany Nett, both senior EKU BSN students. And last but not least, we have the Buckle Up Bear coming through the door there. So they'll be presenting on our Always Buckle Up Children signs. Mr. George?
Yeah, I am from the health department. I'm not here to shut you down. I promise. But over the years, we've worked with the Madison County school system and other local schools, and one of the things that we have been able to do in the past was to provide some signs at parent pickup. As you drive by, and many parents of them, they've been around for a lot of years, and they look like this. Always buckle up, children in the back seat. And these signs, you may have seen them, probably still quite a few of them out there in different places across the community. One of the things that I realized was that Madison County has more schools, and those signs are aging, and we could use some more. So the Madison County Safety Coalition and a patron decided they needed to be upgraded, okay? So in the back are the big, this one's not quite as big, but those are the big ones. There's 12 of them for each of the schools, and it's really important. Right now, as things opened up after COVID, one of the things that we see in the traffic safety world is that there's a lot more people that are driving faster. There's a lot more people not paying attention, and unfortunately there's more collisions and more fatalities, and this is across the nation, and Kentucky's not immune to it. So our most vulnerable children, and we want them to be safe, and the standard is that kids that are not teenagers, they're 12 and under, really need to ride in the back seat. and they need to be buckled up. The last time we did this, it's around, I can't remember the exact date, but we've had this wonderful partnership with EKU for years in the nursing program, and we've been in many of the schools, almost, I think every one of them, at one point or another. But the last time we put the signs up, we did some assessment of the seatbelt usage rates and such before we put them up, and then a little bit later after we put them up, and the seatbelt usage rate raised 14%. And also, just going to throw this in for any of those that are a parent pickup line, the most effective thing to do to get kids to go into the back seat is to have whoever is out there directing them open up that back door. You know, once they get in the car, parents or whoever, they can take them wherever, but those parent pickup people that are out there opening doors and guiding them into the back seat has proven in many places, not just Madison County, other counties too, to be the most effective thing. So I hope these signs will remind us to keep doing that. So also I want to turn on, besides the signs, there's also the education piece that we have been a part of for many years, and I'm going to let Sharonda talk about the EKU nursing program that we partner with.
Yes, so we've had the opportunity to work within Madison County Schools a lot with different educational programs. So I have senior level public health nursing students, so we get into the schools and provide education. We did Rethink Your Ride and Go Scouts and things like that, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity. I'm a product of Madison County Schools, and it's nice to be able to come back and give back to our school system and our community. So we will be, this year we will be doing a project at Silver Creek Elementary. And this is Brittany. She's one of my students. We've got 9 students in this clinical group. So she's going to tell you a little bit about the project that they're going to complete. And this is Jacqueline that's dressed up in the buckle up bear.
This is buckle up bear. Myself and my fellow classmates are from EKU. We're going to be going to Silver Creek Elementary to speak to the second graders because that's the population that's most at risk for noncompliance, and try to help educate them on the importance of seatbelt compliance. And we're going to have different groups that they can go to. One to teach the appropriate ages for different seats. One that performs activities to allow them to practice buckling and identify what is safe and not. We're going to have a buckle up bear station where they're going to walk around and speak to an officer. We're just going to try to help those children identify ways to have their parents, to communicate with their parents, to help them say, hey, I'm supposed to be the backseat mom, and try to give them tools to be able to help manage that for themselves, to keep themselves safe.
Did you have any questions? I think Buckle Bear wanted to shake your hand. I think so. Buckle up, Bear. So
The kids love
yes.
Buckle Up Bear.
We're so happy to have you all.
Thank you all.
Thanks for helping us keep our kids safe.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you
Thank you all
guys,
very
we
much.
appreciate
That
it.
will be the beautiful day.
All right, and our final item for recognition tonight is each year, Be a Children's Champion sponsors a poster contest in our community. This year's contest winner is Kylie Barney. Kylie is a 4th grader from Whitehall Elementary School. Kylie's poster is featured on 3 billboards throughout Madison County through the month of February all the way through April. And there's a picture of it up on the screen, and we have a copy of it up here on our desk as well. So it's going to be on billboards. You're going to see that on billboards throughout the county. And along with the artwork being featured on the billboards, Kylie also received a $100 prize. So congratulations, Kylie. If you want to come on up here. Also with Kylie tonight is her art teacher, Carla Brown, and her principal, Ashley Cornelison. Okay, so if you guys want to come on up and get a picture, probably right here in front would probably work well. Oh, and of course.
Good job, Kylie.
No. In, yeah. She's trying to get me up there. She's talking about.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Good job, Kylie.
Thank you, guys. That's it.
Do we have anyone wanting to speak? Okay, then we're going to move on to our consent agenda. These are items that appear regularly on the agenda and that the board members are familiar with. Items up for approval on the consent agenda include the minutes of the February 3rd regular meeting and the March 1st special meeting, claims, the acknowledgement of the superintendent's personnel actions, the acknowledgement of the leaves of absences, the second and final reading of revised policies 08.1131 and 08.1133. To also declare tech surplus and maintenance surplus, a shortened school day application, and the following out-of-state field trips. Madison Central High School Winter Guard band trip to Floyd's Knob, Indiana on March the 19th. Madison Central High School track and field trip to Raleigh, North Carolina, March 24th through the 26th. Madison Central High School track and field trip to Columbia, South Carolina on April 8th through the 9th. Madison Southern High School Air Force Junior ROTC to Huntsville, Alabama, April 15th and the 16th. Madison Southern High School senior trip to Kings Island on the May 13th. Clark Morris Middle School's 6th through 8th grade band to Kings Island on May 14th. And Madison Middle School student celebration trip to Kings Island on May 18th. Are there any questions or concerns about any of these items? If not, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. So moved by Ms. Coyle, second by Ms. Cobb. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have our regular agenda.
Should be our instruction.
Okay. For our instruction report tonight, we have Madison Middle School Principal, Mrs. Amy Gallion, and Clark Morris Middle School Principal, Eddie Sexton, to present on our middle schools.
Eddie's going first.
Okay.
He requested.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to let you all know that it's been a really interesting experience with renovation and being principal of a building without a cafeteria. So I'd like to take just this moment to brag on our wonderful staff just for a moment. We set up 35 lunchroom tables and about 150 chairs every day in the gymnasium for the kids to have lunch. And they put it up so quick, the kids come in and eat and take it down so quick. It is amazing to watch them work, but they're working so hard to use them. We call it the gymaterium over there for right now, which they're doing a really good job. But I can't say enough, start out about how hard our teachers are working to providing opportunities for our students during school and after school. And one of the things I'd like to share this evening is some of the few opportunities, or I should say many opportunities, our students are getting to participating in over at Clark Morris Middle School. We just finished taking our third group of 8th graders up to Biztown through Ms. Strunk, our life skills teacher, has taken a group. We've got about 90 up there so far, and they go up there and they learn how to be good citizens, make good choices, money management skills. I love hearing the kids come back and talk about, Mr. Sexton, I got to make some good choices with my money because it didn't go too far today. But they have some really good conversations, learn a lot about economics and a lot about a free entrepreneur enterprise up there. So they're 8th graders going on to high school. They're really thinking a lot about good jobs, managing their money, and economics. We've, without a life skills room this year, but it's getting renovated, about a year-long process on it. We were able to work with Mr. Fritz over at Madison Central, and he let a group of our 8th graders come over and still be able to enjoy some culinary experiences. And the kids went over there and got to cook some wonderful recipes and some dishes and got to sample. Plus get them over to high school a little early and get them check that out and sample. So I appreciate Mr. Fritz for allowing us to do that. We also have a drama club this year. Did not have that last year, and we have the teacher that's decided to start a drama club, Mr. Cates. They will be having their first production, Miss Nelson is Missing, on April 22nd. We're hoping to collaborate with Miss Gallion right here and use her auditorium. Yep, since the gym will be undergoing renovation at that time. So we're really trying to reach out and use our community partnership. But the kids are excited about that. They've been meeting one day a week since school started for about an hour and a half. So they are itching and ready to get out and perform their first production. We also started right around Christmas, met with some students that, Mr. Sexton, Mr. Langfields, we need maybe some mentoring programs here. We talked with staff. We did a needs assessment with our students, talked with our staff, and reached out to Mr. Belmar Miller. Got in touch with him. We created a vision and a mission with the students' help, and we have a club called the Difference Makers Club. Young African-American men wanting to make a difference in themselves, in their community, and in their school. And we have about 25 participating in that. Every Wednesday, Mr. Miller comes over and they meet during our STAR time, our RTI time, for about 35 minutes. And they're going on their first field trip next month. Of course, you all know Mr. Miller. He's full of energy and excitement, and he's got the kids full of energy and excitement. And these young men, it's something they requested and something they have taken advantage of, that opportunity. And he has been a godsend for them in that group. We also reached out to Miss Pam Black at EKU. She's a professor up at Eastern, and she does a lot of women's mentoring groups up there. Talked with her and did the same thing with our young ladies who requested the same thing. So she met this past week with our girls. They are very excited and interested in working with her. So Miss Black and Mr. Miller are coming over on Wednesdays, and these are our first two clubs that have come out of our needs assessment. Those young men and women are very interested. There was one Wednesday Mr. Miller couldn't make it, and I thought we were going to have a meltdown right there. They're sexing, Mr. Miller can't make it, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And we've got Mr. Sweat has stepped up and helping with that club as well. So the kids are very excited, taking advantage of that. We've also got our after-school tutoring up and going. We've got about 50 kids participating in that, and made sure that this after-school tutoring were those kids that, we needed to target. Reached out to all of their parents. We were able to provide transportation for them as well. Madison County Food Service, we're able to provide them a meal for staying after school, and they get 90 minutes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And we have had wonderful attendance in that, those students, and we've seen some really good growth in them closing the gap of that unfinished learning for a lot of those kids. So we're very proud of those students and those families making that commitment for those kids to stay and get caught up on some grades moving into the final 9 weeks. And we've also started planning our summer school. Had some good discussion at the DLT at the last meeting, so I've been working with teachers, identifying those students, and already reaching out to some of those parents. They're hoping that Mr. Fritz will let us use his building to host summer school, because we're going to have some major renovation once summer starts, so we're throwing that little monkey wrench into the equation there. But we are providing a lot of opportunities for our students, a lot through community collaboration, and rolling right on into the end of the school year. Ms. Gallion?
Well, I could talk a whole lot about a lot of great things going on at Madison Middle, because there's a lot. I will echo what Mr. Sexton said about y'all, our teachers and our cafeteria staff and our custodians and our educators and our bus drivers. They are absolutely rock stars, nurses, all of them. So just need to put that plug in. They are giving their heart and soul every day in every school on every campus, I'm sure. So specifically, I'm going to talk about a program that we started this year at Madison Middle, knowing going into the school year that kids were going to have a lot of kind of social emotional needs. So at the beginning, in the summer, Dr. Hunter met with a group of us, and we talked about different ways that we could support kids, not only academically, but also with that social emotional learning. And so what came out of that was this little check and connect, and it's kind of, for some school language, like a tier 1 level intervention for all students when it comes to like social emotional kinds of connections. So it's called Check and Connect. That's what we call it. So kind of an overview. In every class, every day at the beginning of the period, students have this little link in their Google Classrooms, and they will click on, and it just says, how are you doing today? And you've got these emojis. So you've got the smile, the flat face, or the frown. And there's an option at the bottom that says anything you want to share. And students click, and then if they want to type something additional, they can. So it's kind of an anonymous reporting system, but it also lets those kids kind of share with their teacher in every class period how they're feeling or how they're doing. And then teachers monitor that through a Google form. So when we started working with it, we thought, okay, so how can we help our teachers to know what to do with the information? Because we want them to monitor this information so we can be responsive to kids and their needs. So, and a lot of teachers aren't as savvy with that social emotional stuff. They kind of get a little nervous about it. So if the kid gives a frown face, it's going to show up red on that Google form for a teacher. So they're going to be like, oh no, what's happening? What do I do? And so we talk about, privately check with the student during that class, and if they need somebody. Most of the time, kids just want you to acknowledge them. Sometimes it'll be like, I'm a frown face, my dog ran away last night. Well, if the teacher just kind of says, oh, I'm sorry to hear that about your dog, then the kid is able now to kind of be into the lesson a little better than just be worried about that. Somebody knows. So those minor concerns, smile, follow up, that way. And we also, our guidance counselor, Brittany Mock, she has been really instrumental in working with teachers to provide them strategies in the classroom. So we have those 3 different levels. So a moderate concern, we're going to email the counselor, and then she's kind of telling teachers, here's the things that, we need to know as administrators. And Mr. Riley's back here, my assistant. He's amazing, absolutely phenomenal. There you go. So we need to know stuff, specific things, and you can see, do you want us to conference with the kid? And a lot of times we want that teacher to ask the child first, because sometimes they just want their teacher to know something. They may trust that teacher more so than one of us. So, and we don't, ever want to blindside them or anything like that. But then we have that third, that emergency concern. So if a student types something into their optional box there, my grandfather passed away, or I've not seen my mom in a couple of days, or, sometimes there's pretty concerning things that kids will share. We want to be responsive to that. So that level 1 is that we can check in. Teachers are that first line of defense, but we also have supports in place when we find things that kids need additionally. So, and we, of course, talk to our teachers about you have that duty to report. So as part of that tier 1 social emotional piece, we collect that data. We can find kids who might need additional supports in various ways. We have been able to provide kids with, food and clothing and, transportation to and from things that they might need, kind of just basic things that they might not come and ask you for. And then we've also been able to be alerted to things that are more severe, so we can, reach out to kids and families and work with them. Collect the data. You can sort it by students. You can sort it by the class period. You can sort it by the day of the week, the time of the day. And sometimes you can see trends with kids. They may not type something in, but you can see a trend with a student. Maybe they're picking smiley faces during first period, but second period it's always a frown. So you might say to the kid, hey, you're coming into school in a great mood. What's happened in second period? And then that child might open up and say, well, so-and-so that I sit by, blah, blah, And so you can sort of circumvent some of those, concerns that kids might have and help work through them before they become, a major issue. So that's what I got. There you go. It's been very, it's just been an amazing thing for us to work with this year, for teachers to have that. It takes their connections with kids a little beyond that superficial in the classroom. So we want every kid at Madison Middle to feel safe, valued, and welcome. We want them to know that there's a trusted adult, and really that teacher should be that trusted adult at the beginning. So, questions?
So you did say that the emoji follows them from class to class, so the next teacher can see what they did?
Well, no, they do a different one. So each
Okay.
teacher has their own specific link, because some kid, they may come in the morning, they're in great mood, but then by fifth period, they're getting a frown. We might see a frown. That teacher might say, well, we can look at that pattern and see what's happening there.
Well, I didn't know if you had.
Now,
they could
we
see that
do.
it was
We can
happening
see
last
that.
period, but this time they're not.
Well, like administration and the counselor, we can see that trend. A teacher would notice this kid's consistent, they do their class. So they might say, why is this kid consistently giving me a frown? And then maybe something's happening at lunch or, So, yeah, we've been able to kind of really watch it, look at those patterns and things. So sometimes it's, happy through the week, and then on Thursdays, it's always a frown. Well, they may have a different place they have to stay on Wednesday nights. So, we've been able to really become really good partners with a lot of our families and kind of with things that are going on with kids. So it's been
Are all of our middle
interesting.
schools doing this? Do you do that, Mr. Stacy?
No.
So when we all.
Not all.
This is just, this blows me away. I've always known, and I'm not just talking about this program, I'm talking about what Mr. Sexton and I know all of our middle schools are doing. But addressing the needs for tutoring with rides and food and the summer school. And then this new program, one of the things that we've heard the most coming out of the pandemic are these social and psychological needs of our students. And I'm just amazed y'all stepping out of the box and addressing these needs and making this a safe place for these students. I can't wait to see this in as many schools as we can get it in, but
I've shared it with a few that have asked. We've shared it, so I'm hopeful that it's hard.
That MTSS and
That, yeah.
common,
Yeah.
and different schools are implementing different.
And are at different kind of levels with that, so.
it just, every time the principals come, I'm just continually amazed by what y'all are doing. It blows me away, and I'm so thankful
Well,
for what y'all are doing.
like I said,
It's a
Dr.
big-
Hunter brought us in this summer and we talked about, what can we do? So, and I have to, Mr. Riley helped create something. Like,
It's just all fantastic, and I know.
Miss
it
Gallion
takes-
cast a
it takes
vision and let people
huge team
jump
and a
out.
huge vision.
Yeah.
And I'm just appreciative on behalf of our students and those parents that are benefiting from the jobs y'all are doing.
Thank you.
And Mr. Sexton, all that you're doing with all that's going on over
Listen,
there.
Well, I just, piggyback Ms. Brock on what you just said about the emotional state of a lot of our students. Our nurse Janie, this week, she's averaged about 80 kids a day.
A day.
And out of that 80, only 40 of them probability to see a nurse. The other 40 were our guidance counselor. Is so backed up trying to get the kids. Our nurses
Are
have
stepping up.
stepped in for that extra pat on the back, just another ear to listen. And, she is, I couldn't imagine being a principal right now, not having a nurse full-time, 5 days a week, in our guidance counselor, because our kiddos really need somebody to talk to. And I love this program right here with Ms. Gallion to start.
Well, I'm so thankful again that our students have your all's leadership in the school buildings. That it's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much for all you do.
Any other questions?
Fabulous. Well, I think it's no secret the emotional needs of our students is just beyond anything I think we could have comprehended. And the things that we need to try to do to help with that. And
I think they're doing a lot.
they're doing a lot.
Stepping
And if
outside the
there's
box.
other things we need to be doing that we can help with, please let us know. 'Cause that's top on my radar for sure.
So next on the agenda is item 6B, our school wellness report from Erin Stewart.
Good evening. I have been part of our school wellness team for almost the entire duration of my tenure in the district. That school wellness team is comprised of Mr. Anderson, our food service staff, Sharon Barnes with the nurses, and then several different types of employees from different levels of our schools. For the most part, elementary level, that's our PE teachers, when we get to middle school and high school, a lot of times it's a health teacher, it might be a guidance counselor, it varies. But that team, historically in our district, has worked together to make sure that there is a collaborative effort for staff and student wellness, to make sure that we are monitoring what's happening in the district and what we need to focus on, and we try to make sure that we do surveys and that sort of thing to keep our focus on what our people need us to be focusing on in terms of staff and student wellness. During COVID, obviously, that wellness team kind of took a back seat because we were not focused on doing events or specific things in our schools that are targeting staff and student wellness. We were more focused, Sharon and her staff were more focused on keeping everybody healthy. And so as we are winding down this school year, we have met, our core team has met for the school wellness committee, and we are planning for next school year to get back to our normal routine, which will include some survey efforts and some professional development and that sort of thing. And so when we come back to you next year, we will have a more detailed, regular report like we have had for you in the past. And we're excited to get back to doing those staff and student wellness efforts again. Any questions? Thank you.
Next on monthly reports is our construction report from Mr. Tony Thomas.
Good evening, everyone. See, everybody didn't make it back from Louisville. So. We'll begin tonight at the North Campus Ignite Academy. There's just a picture from where they've newly graded it, so you can see all the brick up. That picture is actually a week old, and this is this morning. You can see some more trim and some of the stuff going on inside the building. This is inside looking out. Just a fantastic view. This is the front of the building. You can see they still don't have the windows in. We're barking about that, trying to get the windows in ASAP. Paint on the walls. So you can see they're getting paint on the inside. Here's just, this is the marketing lab. This is, of course, in the gym. They're painting the walls. They've got goals up. They're trying to protect them, and scoreboards. A lot of stuff stored in there. This is back in the marketing classroom with the windows, and there's ductwork going in for the carpentry exhaust system. And here's the last of the brick going up on the back of the building. So we're just about done with the brick there. And there's a storage building, even got the brick on it. So things are progressing well at the Area Technology Center. Right now they've given us a schedule that says it's still the end of May. I see a lot of work to be done by then, but they will at least be to the point where they can allow Madison County to move equipment in and come in and set up computers and things of that nature. Any questions on Ignite Academy North?
I would agree. It looks like an awful lot of work to be done.
Yes, yes. We'll move to the Berea campus, Ignite Academy South, and this picture is about a week old. We've got some newer ones from this morning as well, but you can see the brick going up. Here, this is this morning, some of the fascia trim going up on top, and the brick is complete now. They're having some, I say the brick is complete, the brown colored brick, the lighter colored brick, they're having some problems with shipping, so like so many things, but so they're gonna have to put up a lot of brick really quick. That's the interior of the lobby space, looking towards the gymnasium. Paint on the wall here as well, so they're moving quickly. Here you can see in the gym, they've already got paint on the walls and started on the ceiling. And this is kind of up in a penthouse. I got up kind of high, looking out of the lobby, and you can see App Harvest construction in the background there. And they got stairs in. It's so much better than climbing ladders to the mezzanine. That's the welding shop. You can see again a lot of paints getting done, so they're starting on finishes there, which is a good thing. And I took a detail shot of some of the electrical work here, and I know David Rohr would really be impressed with this. They're just, the MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing on this job, they've really done a great job, and that's just an example detail shot of just the quality they're doing. So that's it for the South Campus. Any questions for the Berea project?
When do we think we're going to be done with this?
Pretty much the same thing, because it's not quite as big. But somewhere in early June, the owner should be able to move some things in and start setting up computers, things of that nature. I would say the site would be some of the things, because a lot of the inside may be done, and you're looking outside and well, that's not done. They'll probably still have some site work, paving and grass and things of that nature, but it should be ready for owner occupancy early June. Clark Moore's, Mr. Sexton was correct. He's had to do with a lot of patients, and their staff and Mr. Sexton have been great to work with, sticking to the phasing schedules as best as possible. And that's just a reminder of what the finished product looked like. That was what we call Area D, which is the back. I guess that's 8th grade wing, all nice and shiny. And there's another picture of that finished product. Outdoors, we're seeing new fresh concrete get put down, and on the left, that's actually new brick that's going up over top of a metal building, so that work is progressing now. The better the weather, the better the progress. Again, some really good concrete work going in. That's where the cooler freezer addition will be at the back of the kitchen. This is a shot behind the cafeteria where the metal panel's covered up and bricks coming up from below. You can see stairs in the background. That's a closer look at the stairs there. So again, just good concrete work, good brick work. So got a new dock there. This is the old football locker room. Of course, you have a new athletic building out back now. So you don't. This has been converted into a tech resource room and a conference room. Again, just some MEP work I wanted to show a detail shot of. So that's progressing well in the area that we call Area C, which is the 1980s edition. And that's where they're working now. They're doing a good job separating the area so that the kids and the contractors don't get mixed up. This is the band room edition, all the way in the back. That's if you're standing just out in the outfield, basically of the baseball, softball field. That's if you're in the courtyard looking at the band room. And this should be inside the band room, so you can see good high ceiling heights. There'll be sound panels in there and some natural daylight coming in. That's the athletic building. You can see some wood up on top now. They're ready to start putting on the trusses. And that's it for the Clark Moore's project, unless anyone has.
It'd be well worth the disruptions.
Yes, it takes a lot of, you're correct. You learn a new type of patience by going through renovations.
What is the status of the cafeteria?
Well, we've had some meetings and tried to get it such that they can get in there earlier. It wasn't planned to even be turned over till later, but since they're having some of the issues they are, just having to deal with setting up in the gym.
I didn't realize they were doing that.
Yeah, we were trying to, well, I think before the last round of, in the summer, COVID was going down, and everybody was going to eat in the classrooms, but nobody expected the things to be back on the rise, and eating in the classrooms, I think, became too disruptive. And I don't want to speak for Mr. Sexton, but that was kind of the plan. Well, when they started eating in the gym, they realized we needed to, we weren't in a hurry for a cafeteria until they just, all of a sudden they're setting up I don't know how many tables he said in the gymnasium. So we're trying to get the cafeteria to a point, even if maybe it doesn't have a few ceiling tiles in, or if there's not vinyl tile on the floor, we're going to clean it up, make it safe, occupiable, get them in there, and we should be down to a couple of weeks on that, maybe less, to get the kids in there, and they'll start working in the gym, and, as in the contractors will. And then when the kids are gone in the summer, they'll go back in the cafeteria, and whatever wasn't finished, they'll finish up in there. So hopefully a couple of weeks is the answer to that question.
Did you hear that, Mr. Saxon?
And he knows, that's the question every time I walk in Clark Moore's. And last but not least, the 2 high school projects with the dugouts. We'll start at Central Softball. That's the first base side. You can see brick going up, which is good to see that go up. And that's inside. We've got some slabs poured, and I say we, the contractors obviously. The slabs look really good. If we move over to the third base, visitors softball dugout, you can see it's all wrapped in brick, just need to get the roof on there. Now we're moving over to the baseball field. That's the first base dugout. They're starting brick on that now. And that's the inside again, so a lot of the slabs are poured, the door frame's in place. This is what would be the home third base dugout, and they've got a large storage area. If we move to Southern, this is the first base dugout for the baseball field. and this is the third base for the baseball field. Southern's just always been just a little bit behind in the schedule compared to Central. They were able to get to Central and get started quicker. And this is the softball dugout on the first base side and the third base side. So weather has really hurt them. And we're having a meeting next week just to make sure the principals know and understand where we are in the schedule and what needs they have and how can we accommodate, the softball and baseball kids. Even if some areas aren't complete, can they still use the fields, things of that nature. So we're going to have a big meeting on that next week.
Hopefully sooner than later with baseball starting.
Yes, yes. And again, I go back to just, if they can just have sunny days in a row, then that helps them just really move along quickly.
Awesome. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll move down to our action agenda. 7A is to approve our monthly financial reports. Mr. Woods?
Good evening.
Hello.
All right. I'm going to present our February reports. As we discussed last time with the timing of the meeting and everything, we didn't even have our bank statements at that time to be able to reconcile, so I will note that in your packets you did have the January reports as well, so you could look at both months. We will start with our bank rec. For the month ending February 28th, the district ended with a reconciled balance of $91,570,320.50. You can see that's slightly down from this time last year. If you remember, this time last year, we had just gotten our bond sales done for the Ignite Academies. So as we spend down and we build, of course, we'll see that balance come down to something a little more normal to where we run without bond funds. Of the reconciled balance, the district has $5,740,990.65 in investments. Those rates are still utterly low, and there's no hope in sight, doesn't seem like on that. They seem like they will remain low. We're staying liquid, keeping the funds in our checking account, which does an overnight sweep. So we are earning interest there, and it's comparable, but it allows us to keep our funds liquid where we have access to them at all times. In your packet, you also had a revenue expense report and a balance sheet for February and January. I've looked through those. Expenditures seem to be running very, very much in line with our budget. Tax revenue is coming in. We seem to be hitting our targets there that we projected for the year. Any questions over the financials?
Not, can I get a motion then to approve the monthly financial reports as presented?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Cobbs,
Second.
second by Ms. Coyle, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is to renew our contract for our finance auditor provider. You want to speak?
All right, so last year, we put out an RFP after our provider of several years had an emergency and was unable to perform the duties for our district. We put out an RFP and we came back with Patrick and Associates. They performed the audit very well this last year. There are always hiccups first year, getting to know each other, how we operate, how they look at things. It was actually really smooth. I was very pleased with their work. When we did that RFP, we built into it to allow for us to continue with them for multiple years if the board chooses to do so. I'm asking to go another year with them at this time, and that would be the recommendation.
Any questions? If
Yeah.
not,
You're happy, I'm happy.
oh, that's right. We're all happy. If not, if I can get a motion to renew the contract with Patrick and Associates as our finance auditor provider for the 2021 through 2022 school year.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Coyle, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Cobb, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Next on our action agenda is item 7C, to create and ratify a paraeducator position at Foley.
Yes, so this is just a paraeducator at Foley. They need additional help in special ed to meet the IDEA and IEP requirements for some students, so it'll be paid for with IDEA funds, no impact on the general fund.
Any questions? If not, can I get a motion to create or ratify a full-time paraeducator position at Foley Middle School?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Cobb. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Coyle. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Next is item 7D, to create and ratify 3 preschool para positions.
This also is additional paraeducators this is for the preschool program. As you all know, students are added into the preschool program throughout the year as they age in or qualify. So we're at that point of the year where we're adding 3, paid for by preschool funding. So again, no impact on the general fund.
Any questions? If not, I need a motion to create or ratify 3 preschool paraeducator positions, one at Madison Kindergarten Academy, another one will be at Madison Kindergarten Academy and at Boonesboro Elementary, and one will be at Kingston Elementary and at Silver Creek Elementary. So moved by Ms. Coyle. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Cobb. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is to actually create a job description for a career counselor. So this is at one of our career centers.
It's at both of them,
At both
yes.
of them. So we have to create the job descriptions in order to approve the actual positions. So, do we have any questions? If not, can I get a motion to create and approve a job description for a career counselor?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Cobb,
Second.
second by Ms. Coyle. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next then is item 7F, to create or ratify 2 career coaching positions.
And this is a position we just approved the job description for. The board's been very adamant since we started conceiving the idea of the Ignite Academies, that to make sure that we had additional support there for counseling, but more than anything, career-type counseling. And so within the job description just approved, it talks about that's the main role, career counseling, advising, working with our secondary programs or post-secondary programs, whether that's university or our community college systems, or setting up internships, all of those things. So this would put an individual at each school in order to do that, to assist our students.
And this is not a guidance counselor position?
It is not. It will not. It will serve a lot of the roles that a guidance counselor would,
But not.
but it's more focused on career type pieces, which is something that our guidance counselors at high schools are doing. So while it will not require guidance counselor certification, and it should take some of those pieces off of the plate of our guidance counselors, certified guidance counselors at high schools.
Any other questions? If not, can I get a motion to create or ratify 2 career coaching positions, one at Ignite South and one at Ignite North?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Coyle. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Cobb. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
We're just taking turns.
It's okay. Next is item 7G, to create or ratify a custodial position, and this one is at Ignite South.
Yes, we plan for it to be at Ignite South because currently we have a custodian that is assigned to the Kentucky Tech Madison County. As we take them over, that will be, so we will have that additional person, which we will then reassign to Ignite North.
Any questions? If not, can I get a motion to create or ratify 1 custodian position at Ignite South campus?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Cobb,
Second.
second by Ms. Coyle. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is item 7H, to create or ratify 3 teacher positions.
Yeah, as we look at programming, Ignite North will mainly be staffed with those teachers currently at Kentucky Tech Madison County. plus some that are at Madison Central, but not many. Madison Southern will supply some teachers. They're from Madison Southern out to Ignite South, but we will also need 3 additional teachers in order to create the programming. As you know, we've been budgeting this for the last couple of years. We've been planning on these initial startup costs. And hopefully, when the state budget goes through, eventually, the Senate version came out this week, it continued to have funding for career tech centers. And we are on the list for local funding for that. So it's an industrial maintenance teaching position, welding teaching position, and diesel mechanic, which are 3 programs that we looked at expanding, and 3 that resulted from our interest, our industry surveys as we communicate with them and setting this program up.
And these positions are for Ignite South?
Yes,
in Berea?
correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, if I can get a motion to create or ratify 3 teacher positions at Ignite South.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Coyle,
Second.
second by Ms. Cobb, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next on the agenda is item 7I, to extend the resolution for additional subpay. I can go ahead, I guess, and talk about this. The resolution regarding additional subpay, we approved it as a board on September the 23rd of last year, in 2021. It originally had an expiration date of December 31st, and at the meeting on December 13th, we voted to extend the resolution expiration date until March the 5th. So tonight's action will actually extend the additional pay for subs until the end of this 2022 school year. Any questions? So if not, I need a motion then to extend the resolution for additional sub pay until the end of the 2021-2022 school year.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Cobb,
Second.
second by Ms. Coyle. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next on the agenda is item 7J, to approve the new middle school BG1.
I'll be glad to speak on this. This, honestly, is procedural. If you'll recall, we approved our initial BG1. And on that BG1, we put down what we intended to build, square footage and an estimated cost. It was rejected by KDE because it wasn't consistent with what their model piece, their model program piece states on our district facility plan, which is actually has costs that are less than the actual cost to build, and square footage that is less than square footage that you would intend to build for a 600 plus student middle school. So now we're just simply changing that back. We revised it last time so it would pass through KDE and get approval. Now we're going to change it back because it's important that we actually approve what we plan to spend, what it's actually going to cost. So that's all that this is.
And to clarify, it is a new middle school, but it's a new middle school building. It's not an additional school, it is replacing the old Madison Middle building. Any questions? If not, then can I get a motion to approve the BG1 for the new middle school as presented?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Coyle,
Second.
second by Ms. Cobb, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is item 7K, to approve the Schiller PO. I'll let you talk about this.
Okay, yeah, this is for electronic access controls or key cards, key card entrance into our buildings. We have those across the district. It's required on the front entrance doors, but we also have it several other doors. And this is just to upgrade. I think 9 different schools had only limited access. We need to upgrade that. And we'll pay for this with safe school funds. So the total PO there is for $60,306, but it will upgrade that at 9 different schools. And again, the Safe Schools funding has very limited pieces that we can utilize that for, so this is a good use for those funds.
Any questions?
Those funds are very restricted, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. Mainly, they're set up for vestibules in terms of that side of it. Vestibule construction, front door camera, not school cameras, but front door cameras, and front door electronic access. And then once you get that, which we've had for several years in Madison County, it's difficult to spend beyond that. So this is a good use of it.
Any other questions? I need a motion then to approve the PO to Schiller for the upgrade of card reader door lock systems at 9 schools.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Cobb,
Second.
second by Ms. Coyle. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is item 7L to approve turf replacement at Madison Southern High School.
Yeah, this is for the AstroTurf on in our stadiums. This one is at Madison Southern. And when we put that in 11 years ago, they told us it had a 10, 12-year life. And so we're reaching the end of that life cycle for that particular product. So this would be to replace that. Good news is it's not nearly expensive to replace the carpet as it is to put it down initially. And also the product is getting better. The anticipated life on what we are replacing is 12 to 15 years is what they're telling us now. And you can hold the two in your hand and tell the difference. So they are improving that product. But anyway, this would replace that. Madison Central turf installation went in a year after Madison Southern. So our intention is to replace Madison Central next year. But this is just to replace Madison Southern at this time. And we've been setting funds back since we started this project, since we initially put in this project, for knowing that we would have to replace it.
Any questions? I need a motion then to approve the purchase of artificial turf for Madison Southern High School.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Cobb. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Cobb. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is item 7M to approve the contract and award bid for the cooling tower. And this is the one at Madison Kindergarten Academy.
Yes, if you'll recall, we did BG1 for cooling tower last month. This is just to order the product itself, and then we'll have to install.
Any questions? I need a motion then to approve the contract and award the bid to Technical Product Services and Sales Incorporated for a cooling tower at Madison Kindergarten Academy.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Coyle.
Second.
Second by Ms. Cobb. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is item 7N to purchase computers. Mr. Burnett, please. Our Director of Technology.
Yes, well, good evening.
How are you?
Doing well, how about you all?
Doing well. Thank you.
Good, good. Well, this quote that you see before you, this is to replace computers at 7 of our schools. We've known for a while that we were going to have to do some computer replacements, and so we did some numbers crunching, looked at our dates on our machines. We had some machines out there that were a little older than we had planned, and so this will replace all of our staff stations at 7 schools. In the past, the way we've done that is we have just looked at the oldest stations we've had out there and just gone and replaced them. Well, the issue with that becomes once you replace a certain level of computer, it's easy to miss one or two here and there. It seems invariably that you'll replace a bunch of computers and then you'll have a bunch of hardware issues right after. And so the plan for this one is what we're going to do is we're going to go into a school. We're going to take away every staff station. We're going to replace them with new ones. Then we're going to bring all those staff stations back, look at the ones that are viable, re-image those things, speed them up as best we can, use them for student stations, use them for replacement teacher stations in other locations, and try to get the best bang for our buck. And so if you see on there, we have, we're requesting 620 computers total. We have a spec sheet in there for 3090 small form factor, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and so if you look at the spec sheet, you'll actually see a higher price than the quote. That is thanks to our CATS contracts. And so we will be asking for $412,039.60 for 620 computers, which will replace about 7 schools total.
Any questions? When will this be done? Over the summertime?
So now, actually, we would like to go ahead and get this done as soon as possible. So if this passes tonight, we'll go ahead and get those ordered. They foresee at this point a 4-week turnaround time. That's why we're ordering the models that we are with the specs that we are and some things like that. And so we would actually like to replace them starting hopefully first, second week of April is the plan. So,
How does that disrupt the classroom? Does it bother them?
It is a small disruption. Most teachers are more than happy to accommodate that one because they're getting new machines. So this will also, by the way, coincide with the new Windows operating system. So, we've been on Windows 10 for a while. We all know that with Windows 10, the older it gets, the more likely it is for data breaches and things like that. And so as we roll out these new machines, we will have new Windows 11 for our teachers to keep them as safe as possible, and hopefully meet their needs best we can. So.
Any other questions? If not, can I get a motion then to approve the purchase of computers to replace teacher workstations as presented?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Coyle.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Cobb. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is to approve the purchase of Wi-Fi network components and installation.
Yes, and so this one, this is a product of E-Rate. I know we talked a little bit about E-Rate with our wireless lease, or I'm sorry, with our fiber leases. We're going to use the E-Rate program this year to try to replace our wireless at our middle schools and elementaries. And so at our middle schools and elementaries, we have a wireless system that is 5 years old at this point. Though it is still viable, the company that produced that has since transitioned to a new company, and so they no longer support the things we have in place. Thanks to the E-Rate program, we can get an 80% discount on those things. And so we are going to be looking at, I'm sorry, it is loading, there we go. We are going to be looking at a total of 708 wireless access points. Those are through Extreme Networks. And what we did through E-Rate, we have to put out a bid process. And so we present what's called a 470. It just lists the things we're looking for. We got a total of 6 bid responses for wireless and some switches and some things like that, just to support the infrastructure. With that, we have to do a scoring process, look at our costs, look at some other factors there, who can get equipment, just things like that. And so after looking through all those things, our Extreme Wireless came in at the lowest cost, and it is also what we've been going with in the past. And so this should work with our existing infrastructure. We already have a lot of things in place that it will work with, and so this is what we believe to be the best bang for our buck, while at the same time meeting the needs of our students. And this will replace every access point in all of our classrooms, plus cover just a few extra. There are just a very few locations that when we did the first round, they weren't classrooms. And so we're going to cover those as well in this implementation of wireless.
Got quite the projects
That's
going
just
on.
We're busy people in technology.
Hello.
Yep.
Any questions? Not, if I can get a motion then to approve the purchase of wireless internet upgrades for all elementary schools and the installation and configuration of network switches and wireless access points at both Ignite academies.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Cobb. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Ms. Coyle. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Sounds
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Next on the agenda is item 7P, to consider the purchase of a food truck.
Yes, so we put out bids for a food truck, and this is, I think you all were able to see essentially the specs. It's a large truck. We can prepare food. The intention there is to be able to utilize that for our summer feeding programs, where we go out and do remote feedings, and as well for school events. For example, if a school is having like a field day or something like that, oftentimes the cafeteria staff will fix sack lunches, so they'd be able to utilize the food truck as opposed to that. This would not, certainly it's not, well, I think one of the concerns someone had asked is, will it be used at football games and that kind of stuff to replace concessions? It will not. We won't encroach at all on our concession stand people. This will be simply for providing our meals through our food service.
So we don't have
questions?
any intention of like, I also don't want to encroach on our community food trucks.
No. We're not going to go out and try to cater, and no, this is, during the summertime, we do our remote meals. Right now, we're taking the bus that we have, we have fixed up. This would allow us to do that, so our cooks will be able to do a lot more with this type of piece. And you can see it's loaded up with equipment, so.
There's so many opportunities to use it, I think, at the schools, field days
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
you know, when we do the Title I workshops and I mean, there's just so many opportunities to use it.
So,
It's
and
very expensive,
It is expensive.
a lot more than a normal truck. So I looked at some of the stuff on the specs of it,
yes.
because, you know, I would think 40 to 60,000 would be a normal truck, but it looks like it does have a lot of extras in it, basically. So
Yes, yeah.
just want to make sure that you all really looked at the pricing.
Yeah, we had to go through the bid price, and we had to follow all of our, we're using food service dollars, so that's the funding source, no impact on general fund or district funds. It is food service dollars, and we had to follow all of those federal and state procurement regs with that. So we put out bids and had the open bid process, had several bids come in on it.
And do we currently let food trucks in for certain times at the schools? I feel like we are letting them come to the schools right now, community.
At different times, we do. It depends. So, if we have, like, it's an extracurricular event, like a football game or basketball game or something like that, our athletic directors work with them to come in and provide that. And then they typically, the school will get a percentage of the profits off of that food truck rather than, because it would be encroaching on our typical concession sales. So that's for like extracurricular events. We also allow them to come in at different times. I know elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools all have the Kona ice truck that comes by and some of those other things. Some of the coffee trucks will come by at different times. They schedule those through the school, and they schedule those with the school. And typically, those folks make a donation of some type back to the school, so they can do some things with. We also have food trucks that come in on, sometimes when we do our PD days, we have a faculty there. Food trucks have been coming in and doing that. We've had them here a few times when we've had trainings,
So
trainings in this office, yeah.
my reason for having you say all that, because I already knew that, was to say that we're not going to compete with them, because that's their livelihood, and we're a school, cafeteria.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. No, we have zero intention of competing with them. And in fact, we appreciate food trucks when we do have those opportunities to get them in, because that's one thing our faculty really enjoys, is the food truck. When we have trainings and so forth, food trucks, sometimes we'll have those out there, and it's good.
Anything else? If not, then if I could get a motion to approve the purchase of a food truck from Premier Custom Concepts for $160,340.66, which will be coming out of the food service budget.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Coyle. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Ms. Cobb. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Next is to approve furniture purchase for Clark Moore's Middle School.
Yes, so anytime we do a renovation, we typically try to replace the furniture that needs replacing. And so we've gone through Clark Moore's, and we've got 13, essentially when we combine all of the stuff that's in really good shape, we end up with needing 13 additional classroom sets of furniture. So that's what this purchase is for, through Action Business Supplies. We reach out and we have several bid vendors, and then we negotiate the best price with them. In this case, that's Action. And later on, so the board will know, later on, we'll likely have another recommended purchase for furniture at Clark Moore's for office furniture and all of the other extra conference space furniture and that kind of thing. So,
And
but this is for students.
This was all part of our original budget, and
Yes,
what we put
yeah,
together.
yeah. We plan on these expenditures whenever we go into a renovation or new construction.
Any other questions? If not, can I get a motion then to approve the furniture purchase from Action Business Suppliers for 13 classrooms at Clark Moore's Middle School for a total of $71,996?
so moved.
So moved by Ms. Cobb. Second by Ms. Coyle. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. This is what everybody's been waiting on.
Oh, yes.
Is it
Good
not,
evening.
Mr. Reacher? Item 7R, to approve the revised school calendar. Mr.
Yes.
Reister?
There are a couple of changes on the proposed calendar. One would move the student's last day to May 26th. It was the 24th. That would be that Thursday. The other is on March 18th. That was going to be a flex PD day. We have taken and moved that to the 30th. And then the 18th would be a PD day where everyone comes in. So those are the two changes that you have there.
So next Friday, students are still out though, correct?
Students' last day is the 26th, and then
Right,
that.
You're talking about the change of the PD day for
Correct,
March
yes, ma'am.
18th.
Yes, ma'am. It's just teachers and staff, yes.
Hopefully no more snow.
Hopefully.
Or at least over the weekend.
I know.
No more
Well,
snow days.
by Monday.
No more snow days.
I'm
No more snow
I'm
days.
hoping scattered snow flurries or something.
Any other questions? If not, can I get a motion then to approve the revised school calendar as presented?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Coyle,
Second.
second by Ms. Cobb. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is to set our graduation dates.
All right, we have Madison Central on the 27th, that's Friday. That would be at 6 p.m. And then on Saturday, the 28th, would be Madison Southern, and that is set for 10 a.m., if that is so approved. So that's Central on the 27th at 6 p.m., and then Madison Southern on the 28th at 10 a.m.
Have we decided venues? Are we still working on that?
Well, we haven't firmed everything up, but we do believe it's going to be EKU. Given we had a great time last year, it was very nice, but given the weather issues, and also we can offer more tickets at EKU than we can at on our campuses, so.
And if it rains.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I
safe.
mean, that's, yeah, I thought I mentioned that, that's the biggest piece. And not only raining it during the day of the event, when we got very lucky last year in that we had a complete week of dry weather leading up to that. But when you're setting up the stages and you're setting up all of the things, in order to do it right, in order to really celebrate, and we were able to do that last year, it was awesome, but the rain is a huge, huge risk. Yeah.
And then I assume the principals will be in contact to let the senior families know exactly, once we get the venue settled, how many tickets, because that's
Correct.
the hot question of the
Yes,
moment.
they will let them know, yes.
But having it at alumni provides the highest number of tickets that we can get to families, so they can
Correct.
celebrate their students. Any other questions? If not, can I get a motion to set graduation for Friday, May 27th as the date for Madison Central High School, and Saturday, May 28th as the graduation date for Madison Southern High School?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Cobb. I have a
Second.
second by Ms. Coyle. All in favor?
All right, thank you.
Carries. Thank you, Mr.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is our superintendent's report. Dr. Gillum.
All right, well, welcome to March. And as Ms. Coyle just mentioned a minute ago, we go from 70 degrees to snow and freezing temperatures. So hopefully, though, most of it is behind us, and we're moving forward. Of course, our school year is moving right along, and we just approved what we expect to be our final calendar amendment for the year. And of course, we've announced our graduation date, so we're really kind of turning the corner and heading down that home stretch real soon. Just a few things, that we've been up to lately. For one, Friday, February the 11th, I don't want to not mention that. Friday, February the 11th was the 100th day of school. And hopefully you guys were able to see some great pictures out there of the kids that came in dressed up. I had the good fortune of being able to get out into our schools that day and see some of the kids dressed up. It's really awesome to see that. And, but that also reminds me that we were 100 days into school, now we're 115, 16 or whatever. And our folks have just done, our principals, middle school principals mentioned it, the job that our folks have done. I mention it, I try to mention it every time I do my superintendent report, but it is truly incredible to think that we've gone all the way through there with only minimal disruptions and interruptions to the day-to-day activities of the kids. And that, but it's been a huge burden on our teachers to do that. We really appreciate our teachers and all of our staff. We appreciate so much their work and what they've done. As for the work around here, we've been conducting department and school allocation meetings for the last few weeks. Of course, in this process, we review all of our staff lists, we look at all of our predicted enrollment numbers, and determine the numbers of staff assigned to each school. With that, schools do have the opportunity to add staff using their funds, as we see sometimes here. But we're in that part of the year, our allocation season. Today also, I received confirmation letter, I'll make sure the board knows that, received a confirmation letter from the Kentucky Department of Education granting us what they consider to be conditional approval for Madison County Board of Education's petition for local control of the Madison County Area Tech Center, or Kentucky Tech Madison County. So this is the process we've been working through. We're now at the conditional approval stage. Hopefully within the next week or so, everything gets final. It's really important that becomes final before that final budget is established, so that we know our funding number for next year on that project. Tuesday was our ACT day for our high school juniors. We appreciate the work of our high schools. It takes a lot of coordination and effort to test that many students under the protocols established by ACT and make sure they adhere to all those. So we appreciate that and say great job to our high schools for that. At our February DLT meeting, we did ask principals to begin designing their summer learning opportunities that they're going to provide for students. You heard Mr. Sexton refer to that during his report. You will hear more about that in the coming months. As far as community and extracurricular activities, the last couple of weeks we've had our district basketball and regional basketball tournaments. Those have just been really great community events. It's awesome to be able to see everybody come together, whether you like basketball or not. It's a great place to come out and see folks. We're very fortunate to have EKU permitting us to use their facilities for that. And with that, I also want to say congratulations to Madison Southern boys and girls teams for winning the district tournaments during those tournaments. And while we're congratulating, a huge congratulations goes out to our Madison Central cheerleaders. And Coach Feldhouse there, they won the National High School cheerleading competition on February the 11th. I don't know how many national championships they won, but it's been several. So congratulations to them. They're on top of the cheerleading world once again. February 8th was Family Resource Youth Service Center Day across the state, and we're grateful for the work done by our Family Resource Youth Service Center workers. We know they deserve much more than a day, but we do want to mention that as their day. And then Friday, March the 4th, was our App Harvest celebration and open house for the Container Farm Project at Madison Southern High School. We are the only district in the state to have 2 container farms for our students to utilize for agriculture experiences and education. And we appreciate Governor Beshear, Senior Advisor Rocky Atkins, App Harvest CEO Jonathan Webb for participating in that ceremony. And also, First Lady Brittany Beshear was there because she read to students earlier in the day at Madison Kindergarten Academy as part of the Read Across America Week. So we appreciate that. And the First Lady wasn't the only individual that participated in Read Across America Week. We had several folks in our community. I know Richmond Mayor Blythe came out and read, several other volunteers. So we really appreciate them for doing that. That's my superintendent report.
Thank you. Next is comments from the board. We did enjoy our annual meeting at the Kentucky School Boards Conference a couple of weeks ago. It's always a great opportunity to learn about a multitude of issues that boards face, and always learning. And we have to get our continuing education units. We do get we do get educated on what we're doing up here. So, but we're continually learning. So that was it's always a good time to get together. If no other questions or comments, then I need a motion to adjourn. So moved by Ms. Cobb. Second by Ms. Coyle. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you all.